What's up everybody, how's it going? In this video, I'm going to share with you a step-by-step framework for you to find your purpose in life, the activity that fulfills you, that helps you lead a happy life. This is something that every single human being on this planet, including you watching this video, yearns to find, but that unfortunately many do not find. Many people end up leading lives that are void of purpose and end up being unhappy. I think that I'm in a good position to offer guidance on this topic because over the last 5 years or so, I would say that I have found my purpose and that I have been living my purpose. I've been very happy, and so I want to help you, especially if you feel lost or just a little bit unhappy, like you kind of feel like you don't have a purpose in life. Watch this video to the very end. So without further ado, let's jump into it. There's this Japanese concept called Ikigai that basically means purpose, your reason of being. And there's a really nice illustration that captures quite nicely what Ikigai is. Because this is something that most of us kind of know how it feels, or we can imagine what it feels like to have a life of purpose, but we can't necessarily concretely define it. And so in this illustration, which I'm going to put on the screen now, Ikigai is portrayed as the intersection of 4 different circles. The first circle represents what you love to do. It's pretty straightforward, any activity that you genuinely enjoy doing. The second circle represents what you are good at. Any activity that you are very good at, whether it be because of innate talent or practiced skill or learned knowledge, doesn't matter, any activity that you are good at. The third circle represents what the world needs. So the way that I understand this circle is basically any activity that has meaning, that has an impact on the world. For example, trying to combat world hunger or to cure all diseases is going to be a canonical example of something that has meaning that the world needs. Conversely, something like, investment banking, not to diss on investment banking, but at face value, it's not necessarily something that the world really needs. At face value, okay? I'm just giving a sort of obvious high-level example. And then finally, the fourth circle is going to be everything that you can get paid to do. And so Ikigai is an activity that basically falls into all 4 of these circles. Something that you love to do, that you are good at, that the world needs, and that you can get paid for. And so if we look at the activity that has been my Ikigai for the last 5 years or so, my company Algo Expert, which many of you are familiar with, as well as this YouTube channel, which has been very much intertwined with my company Algo Expert. By the way, if you're a software engineer preparing for your technical interviews, do check out my company Algo Expert. Go to algoexpert.io and use the promo code CLEM, CLEM, for a discount on the platform. But so has running my company Algo Expert and this YouTube channel fallen into all 4 of these circles? Well, I've always loved the idea of entrepreneurship, of running my own business. I've always loved public speaking, and after college I got into coding and really enjoyed coding, specifically algorithms and data structures, which is at the core of Algo Expert, so it certainly falls in that first circle. Is it something that I'm good at? Yes, I would say that I'm very good at running a business. I'm very good at building something from the ground up. I'm pretty good at coding. I'm very good at algorithms and data structures. I got into Google pretty quickly after studying algorithms and data structures. Is it something that the world needs? Yes, clearly there's a big audience for my type of YouTube content. Clearly there's a big audience and need for a better interview prep platform. Software engineers need to land jobs. Some of these jobs are completely life-changing, but they have these difficult technical interviews that they need to pass, and Algo Expert helps them pass them and land their dream jobs. So the world certainly needs Algo Expert. And finally, Algo Expert and my YouTube channel have certainly been activities that I can get paid for. In fact, I've been paid very, very handsomely from these activities, way more than I would have probably gotten paid by doing anything else. And so clearly, Algo Expert and my YouTube channel fall right at the intersection of these 4 circles, and what do you know? I have felt very happy, very fulfilled, like I have found my purpose over these last 5 or so years of running Algo Expert and this YouTube channel. So how can you find your Ikigai? Well, the first thing is to realize that there's a very important nuance that is not captured by the Ikigai illustration that I showed before. And that nuance is that not every human being on this planet values these 4 circles to the same extent. No, some people will value making money more than other people. Some people will value pursuing an activity that has an impact on the world more than other people. It's very important to realize that, and once you do, you can actually start following the step-by-step process to find your Ikigai. And the step-by-step process is very simple. You just have to go through all 4 of these circles in the order that they are numbered, so starting with the things that you love, and list out all the things in your life or activities that you know, that you are aware of, that fall into the circle in question. And more specifically, you can actually stack rank them. So for example, you can rank activities on a scale from 1 to 10 as far as how much you love this activity, or how good are you at this activity. For example, you start with what things that you love, maybe the things that you love the most. 10 out of 10 are going to be things like, playing video games and, cooking. Okay, then the things that are going to be 9 out of 10s are going to be eating nice food and traveling. Then the things that are going to be 8 out of 10s are going to be coding and building a business. Hint, hint, things for me for Algo Expert. And you continue ranking these activities, stopping maybe at, 6 out of 10, and then you move on to the next circle. So you go through the activities that you're good at, the activities that have meaning, that people will desire in this world, that people will need in this world, and then finally the things that you can get paid for. And once you've stack ranked all these activities across all these different circles, you have to start aggregating them and find the activity or the set of activities that have the highest score across all of these 4 circles, and keeping in mind which circle you might value more than others, and only then can you find your Ikigai. And you see, the problem with the majority of human beings out there is that they never go through this exercise, and many of them unfortunately find themselves pursuing an activity as their primary activity in life that is the opposite of the activity that they should look for. For example, they end up going with an activity that they do not love, that they are not good at, and that they don't get paid well for. As an example, again, not to diss on a particular profession, but let's take someone who's in college, doesn't really know what to do, and they end up picking kind of haphazardly to pursue a career in accounting. And it turns out they don't really love accounting. If they went through the exercise that I just described, they would rank accounting a 4 out of 10 in what they love. They're not particularly good at accounting because they don't really like, finance and math and things like that. So maybe they're a 6 out of 10 there. They don't really get paid well for it because accounting is not the highest paying career out there, especially if you're not great at it. And so they lead a very average, miserable life. But if you go through this exercise, you are very likely to find your Ikigai, or at least multiple contenders for your Ikigai. The last thing that I want to mention is that the weights that you assign to these 4 circles can actually change over time. For example, it's very possible that earlier on in your life, you put more weight on activities that make you a lot of money, and later on in your life, you put less weight on them and more weight on things that have a positive impact on the world or things that you love to do. You get the idea, and you have to be mindful of that, because that might mean that over time, something that was once your Ikigai will no longer be. And similarly, I think that even if your values don't change, a particular activity can start to drift away, at least in 1 or 2 circles. And I've actually experienced this with Algo Expert, where I would say over the last 2, maybe 1.5 years or so, slowly but surely, I have felt my love for Algo Expert and what I do with the company and the business slowly drift away from the center of the Ikigai. In other words, I have been losing a little bit of love and passion for what I do just because the work has become a little bit more tedious, a little bit repetitive, not necessarily very challenging. But conversely, I've been getting paid more and more and more from Algo Expert over these last 2 years that the what you get paid for circle has been drifting closer and closer towards the center of the Ikigai. So it's kind of been balancing out the fact that I've been losing a bit of love for it. It's just important for you to keep this in mind because it just might mean that once again, an activity that is your Ikigai at one point in your life might start to drift away and no longer become your Ikigai as time goes by. And this is something that I'm very mindful of right now as I start to imagine what I might want to spend the rest of my life doing in a world after Algo Expert. So that's going to wrap it up for this video. I hope that you found it useful and I hope that it will help you find your Ikigai. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Have you already found your Ikigai? Do you have another framework? Is this completely mind-blowing and you're so happy that you've watched this video? If you are, don't forget to smash the like button. It really helps me out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow me on LinkedIn and Twitter if you enjoy short-form written content. Instagram if you like pictures, and I will see you in the next video.